Imagine for a second that you are walking down the street, minding your own business. Suddenly, an alien tractor beam locks onto you. You are violently ripped from the surface of the Earth and dragged into the freezing vacuum of deep space. As you are pulled upward through the atmosphere at terrifying speeds, the sudden, extreme lack of pressure causes the gases inside your body to expand rapidly. Your internal organs rupture. Your bones crack and splinter under the strain. Your flesh balloons outward until you literally melt into a grotesque, gelatinous pile of disfigured flesh. You die in unimaginable, agonizing pain. But wait, it actually gets worse. The aliens who abducted and murdered you decide to snap a high-definition photograph of your mangled, deformed corpse. They upload it to their intergalactic internet, where millions of alien teenagers laugh at your melted face and officially crown you the ugliest creature in the universe. They make plush toys out of your disfigured corpse. They put your melted face on coffee mugs and t-shirts. Congratulations. You have just experienced the exact same tragic fate that humanity has inflicted upon the blobfish. Welcome to your new life. Today, you are going to be born as a blobfish, to see just how incredibly awesome it is to be globally cyberbullied after dying the most horrific death imaginable. Let us dive down to the bottom of the world, where your miserable existence begins. Down here, at depths of around 4,000 feet below the surface, gravity is basically a running joke, but the hydrostatic pressure is a highly efficient serial killer. You are born into the bathypelagic zone, the midnight zone. It is a realm of eternal darkness, freezing temperatures, and crushing forces. The weight of thousands of tons of water pressing down on your tiny head is roughly equivalent to balancing a literal armored military tank on your thumb. If a human being were to suddenly teleport down here, their lungs would collapse instantly, and their body would be squashed into a bloody, microscopic soda can. So, how do you survive this absolute nightmare of a neighborhood? Mother Nature, in all her twisted glory, granted you a very bitter gift. She looked at the standard blueprint for a fish and decided to throw most of it directly in the trash. You see, normal, upper-class fish swimming near the surface have this fancy organ called a swim bladder. It is a little sac filled with gas that helps them float gracefully. If you had a gas-filled sac down here, the immense pressure would cause it to implode violently, and you would be instantly shredded from the inside out. Therefore, Mother Nature stripped you of your swim bladder entirely. She also confiscated your hard skeleton and your strong muscles, because those require way too much energy to maintain in a barren wasteland where food is almost non-existent. Instead, she turned you into a sentient piece of ocean pudding. You are almost entirely composed of a gelatinous mass that has a density just slightly less than water. This biological cheat code allows you to simply hover above the sea floor without expending a single calorie. Down here, in your natural habitat, you actually look completely normal. You look like a tough, little prehistoric predator. You have a sleek, tapered body, a proper jawline, and a dignified presence. You do not look like a sad, bald old man who just dropped his ice cream cone. You look like a respectable member of the deep-sea community. But your daily routine is the very definition of depressing. You cannot really swim. Wiggling your gelatinous body takes way too much effort, and out here, calories are the ultimate currency. If you burn too much energy, you starve. So, your grand hunting strategy is just extreme, weaponized laziness. You open your mouth, and you just float there, in pitch-black darkness, doing absolutely nothing. For hours. For days. Maybe for weeks. You just hang out in the void, hoping that an incredibly stupid blind crab or a lost sea snail will accidentally wander directly into your open mouth. It is a lonely, pathetic existence. You have no friends. You have no entertainment. Your entire life is just an endless staring contest with the abyss, waiting for a free meal to fall onto. Your tongue. Let us truly understand the magnitude of your isolation. Imagine a silent, dark room where you cannot even see your own fins. You rely entirely on subtle vibrations in the freezing water to know if something is approaching. Is it food, or is it a predator? You never really know until it touches your face. Your squishy body is your only defense, but it is not much of a shield. If a deep-sea sleeper shark decides you look like a decent midnight snack, you cannot swim away. You just have to accept your fate and be swallowed whole. But usually, the predators ignore you, because you literally lack nutritional value. You are mostly water and fat. You are the deep-sea equivalent of a diet celery stick. Nobody wants to eat you, so you just exist, a floating ghost in a forgotten world. This absolute monotony is your entire universe. Let us talk about your childhood, if you can even call it that. You hatch from a tiny egg, immediately alone in the freezing blackness. There was no mother to protect you, no father to teach you how to hunt. You just popped into existence, a microscopic blob of jelly, surrounded by monsters that wanted to filter feed you out of existence. Your only instinct was to sink deeper, away from the dangerous, brightly lit surface world. You spent years slowly drifting, growing your gelatinous armor, surviving by pure chance encounters. Every single day was a lottery where the grand prize was just waking up the next morning. You avoided the giant squids, you dodged the gulper eels, and you slowly became the master of doing absolutely nothing. The silence down here is deafening. There are no waves crashing, no wind blowing, no sounds of life. Just the slow, rhythmic hum of the earth and the occasional distant rumble of an underwater earthquake. This is your domain, a kingdom of shadows and crushing weight. You have earned your place here through millions of years of agonizing evolution. You are a survivor, a master of the dark. You have no concept of the sky, or the stars, or the noisy, chaotic world of humans raging thousands of feet above your head. You are completely ignorant of the terrible species that is about to ruin your life and disrespect your legacy for the rest of human history. You think the ocean floor is your permanent sanctuary. You think the crushing pressure is your safety blanket, protecting you from the madness above. You are so horribly, tragically wrong. You thought the abyss was harsh, but you are about to meet a monster far more ruthless than any deep-sea creature. One ordinary day, while you are hovering mindlessly over the gray silt, the water around you begins to tremble violently. A massive, unnatural shadow blocks out the tiny bioluminescent lights of the deep. Before you can even attempt to wiggle away, a colossal, terrifying wall of heavy mesh netting sweeps across the ocean floor. This is a deep-sea bottom trawler, a mindless mechanical beast sent from the surface world to indiscriminately destroy everything in its path. You are scooped up, tumbling over rocks, crushed against panicked crabs, terrified deep-sea sharks, and ancient corals. And then, the true nightmare begins. The net starts pulling you upward. You are ascending at a speed your biology was never designed to experience. As you are dragged higher and higher, the comforting, crushing pressure of the deep sea begins to vanish. This is the moment your body betrays you. Because you do not have a strong skeleton or dense muscles to hold your shape together. That massive hydrostatic pressure was the only thing keeping your body intact. It was your invisible mold. Without it, you are literally coming undone. The decompression is agonizing. The gases trapped inside your microscopic tissues begin to expand rapidly. Your internal organs swell to horrifying proportions. Your fragile, gelatinous skin stretches and tears. Your nervous system goes completely haywire as the sudden change in pressure fries your primitive brain. You can feel your eyes, which are normally secured tightly in your skull, beginning to bulge and push outward from their sockets. Your jaw, lacking strong bone structure, collapses and falls open in a permanent, silent scream. Your entire facial structure sags and melts, turning you into a grotesque caricature of a living creature. You are experiencing the ultimate biological torture, essentially being turned inside out on a cellular level. And the worst part is that you are likely still conscious for a significant portion of this horrific journey to the surface. Imagine the sheer terror of being ripped from the only home you have ever known. The deep sea is a quiet, stable environment, completely untouched by the changing seasons or the chaotic weather of the surface. For millions of years, your ancestors lived and died in total peace, oblivious to the fact that humans even existed. But now, progress and industrialization have reached their greedy fingers into the very depths of the ocean. The bottom trawling nets act like underwater bulldozers, indiscriminately scraping the seafloor clean, destroying ancient coral reefs that took thousands of years to grow, and capturing everything in their path. You are not just a single fish being pulled up. You are part of an entire ecosystem being violently erased. As you continue to rise, the temperature changes drastically. You go from near freezing comforting cold to an uncomfortably warm, alien ocean layer. Your body, perfectly calibrated for extreme cold and high pressure, begins to shut down structurally and biochemically. This is a level of suffering that words can barely describe. It is a slow, agonizing unraveling of your entire biological foundation. You finally break the surface of the water, a world of blinding, burning sunlight and thin, useless air. You suffocate and die, a merciful end to an unimaginable physical trauma. But the humiliation, dear Blobfish, is just beginning. Your deformed, melted corpse is dumped onto the cold, hard deck of a commercial fishing vessel. You are a gelatinous pile of ruined flesh, looking like a melted pile of pink ice cream with a giant, sad nose and a miserable frown. A human fisherman walks by. He stops. He looks down at your mutilated remains, completely ignorant of the fact that the extreme pressure change caused this horrific disfigurement. To him, you are just a freak. He pulls out a device, snaps a high-definition photograph of your ruined body, and uploads it to the internet. That single photograph goes viral instantly. Millions of humans, sitting comfortably in their safe, pressure-regulated living rooms, point their fingers at your corpse and laugh. They do not see a victim of profound decompression sickness. They see a joke. You become a global meme. You are officially voted the ugliest animal on the planet. They literally create the Ugly Animal Preservation Society and make your deformed corpse their official mascot. Think about the sheer audacity of this situation. Humans, a species that spends billions of dollars every year on plastic surgery, cosmetics, and filters just to avoid looking ugly, are collectively mocking a deep-sea creature for not looking pretty after being violently murdered and depressurized. The hypocrisy is truly staggering. They put your melted face on greeting cards that say, "I love you more than this ugly fish." They write cruel articles ranking you below naked mole rats and hagfish. Your dignity is entirely erased. You are reduced to a digital punchline for bored teenagers scrolling on their smartphones. Humans make plush toys of your dead, swollen body and sell them to children. They print your melted face on t-shirts, coffee mugs, and posters. Influencers use your tragedy to make jokes about waking up on a Monday morning. Your brutal death and subsequent physical mutilation become the punchline for an entire species. You are a biological marvel, a creature that successfully adapted to survive in one of the most extreme, inhospitable, alien environments on planet Earth. You conquered the crushing abyss where no human could ever survive for even a fraction of a second without turning into a red stain. Yet, you are forever immortalized and judged by a species of hairless apes who cannot even hold their breath underwater for more than 2 minutes. They dragged you from your home, destroyed your body, and then bullied you for looking bad after they murdered you. So, the next time someone calls the blobfish ugly, remember the horrific truth. You are not looking at a naturally ugly animal. You are looking at a casualty of human interference, a melted corpse permanently frozen in a state of absolute agony. Who is the real ugly monster in this scenario? The fish just trying to survive in the dark, or the species that destroys it and then laughs at its remains? If you enjoyed suffering through this tragic existence, do not forget to hit that subscribe button to support the Born to Suffer channel. We have a lot more miserable animal lives to explore. Drop a like, leave a comment about what creature we should torture you with next, and share this video with a friend who thinks they are having a bad day. Trust me, their day is a lot better than a blobfish. Hit the notification bell so you do not miss our next upload, where we will plunge you into another biological nightmare.